Welcome to part 7. We're going to do some refining of the work so far. Okay, first of all, what I want to do is I've disabled the display flag for everything apart from the lights, I guess. So I'm going to go into Pyro and I want to show you something, right? So I'm going to enable all this now. Okay, so let's play this now. Okay, so it's done it, and you can see that's how it looks like right now. It looks pretty cool, I think. But I want to show you something, right? So can you see that box is following this trail right here? So in effect, it's just getting bigger and bigger, obviously because of this. So we technically shouldn't need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these out completely. But before I do that, I want to add another node, gas wind. One of my favorite nodes because it really adds to the scene. So I'm just going to connect it to merge, which goes into velocity update. And let's give it a direction, let's say -x maybe. Wind direction -1. And maybe 0.2 in the y direction, and let's say -0.2 in the z, and I don't want too much of wind scale, so I'm just going to reduce it to 0.2. Okay, so I've done that now. So what I really want is all these to be separated, or as much as we can separate them. So I know that main and flare source are basically the same thing, so we want to keep them together, but I want to separate the trails, I want to separate the shockwave, okay? And if possible, we will separate the gas particle to field as well. So what I mean by that is this. So if I click there and press and hold Alt and drag, I'm going to create a new node. Okay, now this time let me disconnect everything from it. What I want to do is I want to keep gas particle to field in the first one, which is the pyro solver 1. I'm going to disconnect the actual source that is coming in. So basically this has got no source. So let's see if this works. Yeah, so it does work, okay? So we will keep this separate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this flash lines. I guess just flash lines, doesn't matter. But in here, I'm going to copy the source. I'm going to connect it to this one, and I'm going to copy the resize container and connect it to this one here, and this one I'm going to connect it to here. But I also want wind, so I'll copy that and connect it to velocity update. And I will disconnect these two. So this pyro solver belongs to basically the main explosion, which is main and flare. So I'm going to call this main. Okay. And let me pull this down and connect this here. Okay, I'm going to save this. And I'm going to make another copy. I'm going to connect it here. I will just disable this one for now, okay? And I will connect the source to here, which is our shockwave. Then the idea is that because the flash lines go far out at the very beginning, it only affects this resize container, okay? And this main explosion doesn't go that far out. You can control it by using this resize container. And all of this matters because of the resolution. The bigger the box, the longer it takes to simulate, and there's a possibility that your resolution may go down as well. So I'm trying to avoid all of that by completely separating them out. And you have individual control on this, so you can choose to do what you want, and obviously you can choose to do what you want on these. But at the same time, if you don't want that to happen, then all you got to do is just copy what's happening, what's in here, and just paste them across on all four solvers, if you like. Okay, so I'm gonna save this now and let's run this. Okay, so it's done. 14 frames. It took approximately 2 minutes, I think. There is another very big advantage to this, okay, this method. So for an example, now if I go to object and go into pyro import, you'll only see one part of it, and that's because this is bringing in flash lines, okay? So technically what you should be doing is you should be creating 4 of these. So in effect, there'll be 1, 2, 3. So in total it's 4. Okay, so second one, we're gonna bring in, so there's flash, let's see, main. That's not what I wanted to say. I want to say main. Get out of here. Okay, so main's coming in. And then the third one, we will say we will bring in shockwave. And then the fourth one, we will bring in our flares. Now, if I merge them together, you'll get everything basically, okay? However, here's the beauty, okay? Now, you can assign individual material to these, meaning that sometimes the shockwave works better with, you know, temperature as its color field, and maybe it works with heat, but you can choose that right now. And this is a fantastic way of separating them out, and your render is going to look much cooler. Okay? All right, good. I'm just going to delete that one for now. I think maybe it's not going to save a lot of time when it comes to the actual simming time. So you may want to reduce the resolution of some of these if you like. Again, you have individual control, so it is all going to interact with each other because of this merge, okay? So, and it's mutual relationship. Okay, so that's good. There's also one more thing that I noticed is that let me actually go into PyroSim first of all, and copy the division size, and I'll just paste them across because I'd like to just change one element. Let me disable this. For now, that's what I want to do. I want to just control it from one place. Again, it's up to you if you have option not to do this. I'm going to change it to 0.2 for now. Okay. So let me save it and let me run this and show you something. Okay. So you can already see, right? So here, the main explosion is already starting to happen, but I want the flash lines to start just before that. But that is not what is happening here. So I'm going to go into flash lines source, into PopNet, and I want to change it to 2, okay? So that way it starts first. And now let's look at it. Okay, maybe it's not looking that great here. Let me just go into here and have a look at this. There. You see how these flash lines came up? Just give me a second. Right, let me get rid of these boxes. All right. You see that? How the flash lines come out first, which is going to look really cool. But something weird is going on here. Whoa. What happened there? Maybe it's the flash lines that is causing the trouble here. That's because we changed it to add fuel. I think I want to change that back to just copy. Okay, I think that's the problem. So I'm just going to change it back to copy. I'll just check it out. Yeah, that's the actual problem. So as soon as I changed it to copy, everything looks better. So I'm going to leave it at copy, all right? So that's fine. Let's have a look at it from the object context. There you go. That looks really cool. All right, let's move on to rendering part. So going to shop context, and I want to enable RS volume, or put in an RS volume, and I'm going to call this main explosion. Okay, so and let me go to pyro import, and what is this? This is main flash lines. So I'll call this flash lines, and this one is main. I'd like to name them just in case I get messed up or something. This is shockwave, and this is flares. Also, I just remembered I like a little bit more of shockwave. Okay, so I'm just gonna go inside PopNet and maybe increase this to 200,000 in total. So there's a lot more coming out like that. Okay, good. Attributes, yeah, that's all looking good. Okay. And I don't know, it just looks like it's actually yeah, it's going up a little bit. So let's have a look at this for a second. Yeah, it's going that way. So let's see if we can change that somehow. So it was 77.9. If I change it to 90, it's like flat, super flat. Okay, that's what I want, really. Okay, good. Now let's get inside the pop network and let's check it out. Has that come into effect yet? Yeah, that's better. All right, good. That is looking good. Okay, I'm gonna go back out and let's run this. Let me set it to screen, camera, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at frame number 10 for now. So if I go back into pyro import and I want to create a material for main, and I'm gonna pull that out of here. Okay, what is this? That's just a visualization, doesn't matter. Okay, so main explosion, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna concentrate on this part here. So I've only enabled the pyro import, and that means in the out, all objects are candidate objects are everything. So we're just going to try and render this for now. Okay, so that's looking good. It's going to shop main explosion. I'm going to leave the scatter coefficient to 1. This is all fine. This is all good. Okay, I'm going to change the emission channel to heat, and yeah, that's all right. I'm going to increase the scale to 4. And let's see here. Emission remap ramp. I'm going to select black body. There you go. That has come up now, which is good. I'm going to start working on this and I will come right back. Okay, I have now set up the emission remap ramp. Okay, so that's the setting I got. And let's try and render this. Yeah. Okay, I like that. That is good. Now, I'm just going to click through each one of these so that you can copy the values. Okay. Okay, so I hope you got that. All right, so I'm going to move to Advanced tab, and I'm going to change the shadow density scale to 8 and new max to 4. They'll give it a little bit of, you know, smoke. And then I'm going to leave these two the same. All right, so it's going to look different over time, of course. So it's going to get better. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to actually add a grid. And I'll go inside, change it to nerves. And let me make this bigger. Something like that. Okay, that's good. And let me come out of it. Press, let me put in a, no, actually, let me press enter, press S and select points. Also, I want to go to out and enable global illumination, brute force and brute force. Okay, all right. We're gonna now set up, let's see, flash lines. Flash lines is probably going to be the same. So I'm just going to copy that over. And we will start with that, you know. And then I will also copy the same for shockwave and copy the same for flares. But flares is going to be slightly different, and I already know that. So I'm going to copy main explosion, and I'm going to say flares here. And let's just render flares right now. Let's see how that looks. Okay, flares look good so far. But what I want to do is maybe I will change this to fuel or temperature. That has no impact because I haven't really assigned it yet. All right. Okay, there you go. It looks a lot different. Okay. I don't think I want temperature. I want maybe fuel. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe heat again. Yeah, this is the best option for us. I'm going to change the intensity to 16. So, yeah, that looks good. And the main explosion, let me just choose main explosion again. Maybe I will change the main explosion from heat to temperature, and we will see how it looks. That looks bad. All right. How about fuel? Yeah, fuel looks a lot better, I think. Okay, we will leave it at that for now. We'll come back and change it. Because we changed this to fuel, I want to change the, let's enable our shockwave and see how that looks. All right, that looks okay. But I want to create a new one, and we'll call this shockwave, and we will assign it to here. And there you go. With the heat, it's already working better. Originally it was set to main explosion fuel. Now I've set it to heat, which is by copying the flares. I set it to heat and it looks a lot better. I like this setup. All right, good. What about flash lines? Let's have a look at that one. That looks okay. But flash lines technically don't need any emission, so I'm gonna just copy this shockwave and I'm gonna say flash lines, and I'm gonna assign that, and I'm gonna kill emission, kill that as well, but I'm gonna increase this one to maybe 10 or maybe even 1, because I don't want too much of this. Shadow density, okay, maybe leave that. But here's the thing, if you increase the scatter coefficient, it's going to look brighter, so you can actually play around with that to get a different look for your fire if you like. Okay, so I'm just going to put it to, I don't know, let's say 4, and increase the absorption a little bit. Usually I divide scatter coefficient by 2 and put that in here, so it's technically 2 right now. How about pushing this? Okay, that's not very good. Let's push this. That's not good either. How about if I create one and push this? Yeah, that's not very good. All right. But I like that. Okay, that's not bad. All right, good. So we've now set up everything, and I'm just gonna go to frame number 10 again. I'm gonna try and render that because that's basically everything. So that looks really cool right now. So it's gonna get better. Okay, as I said, I don't really like these flash lines coming up like that. There's a lot of discontinuity here. Okay, so let's try and fix that right now. So the first thing I want to do is, first of all, this is actually very, very fast. So I'm gonna go into flash line source. I'm gonna pop net. I'm gonna change the inherent velocity to 1, and that will be okay. Let's see here. That is okay. Let's check it out with the cam. Our only problem is that it's probably going too low. So I'm gonna reduce the pop drag to 0.2. Yeah, so that's a lot better. Okay, good. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the pyro sim. I'm going to change all these to 0.1. And this is why, the reason I did that in the first place. I don't know if you remember, but that's what I wanted to do. And then I reset them all to default, okay? But I'm going to put these all to 0.1 again. And now, hopefully, that should have fixed the issue. It has. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. So basically, this is not discontinuous anymore. Okay, it's just one streak of smoke. Okay, that's good. All right, let's move on. I don't want to spend any more time on this. Let me connect these back in. All right, good. Okay, so I've got 25 frames in total simulated here, just so that we can have a look. So that's how it looks. Obviously it doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to do a little render and I'm going to come back to you. Okay.